Ever since the release of The Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom, we've always wondered what enemies and bosses Cuccos could attack in the game. Could they fight and defeat Gleeoks? Would they target Gloomspawn and Phantom Ganon? What about Ganondorf himself in the final battle? These questions and more kept us wondering about the true extent of their abilities, about the powers of the Cuckoo Revenge Squad. But there was one problem here. Cuccos couldn't visit most of these areas or fight most of these bosses. So, for years, seeing them fight the Sea's Construct, Master Kohga or Ganon himself was a no-go. But thanks to the magic of modded auto builds, we can now test this stuff. We created a Cuckoo auto build that works just like the real thing and works fine in every situation. Time to see how the Force of Darkness cope with the Cuckoo Revenge Squad. Starting with the Demon King himself. Will Cuccos attack him? Yes, but there's a catch. They can't actually kill Ganon. They can only take his health bar down to a certain point before doing no damage. As the CDI games have always said, only Link can defeat Ganon. Either way, on to dungeon bosses now. How do they fare? Sadly, not too well in Kohga's case. The Cuckoo does get annoyed if enough of Kohga's tornado attacks hit it, but the squad won't get summoned. As a result, Cuccos can't attack Kohga. Meanwhile, they'll at least try to attack Marbled Goma. Unfortunately, try is the key word there. The monster's shell is impervious to Cuckoo attacks and they don't target the eye. So, while they attack Marbled Goma, they can't kill it. But that's not the case of Muktarok. In that case, they'll hit the boss in sludge form and actually do damage. Unfortunately, like with Ganon, they can't actually kill the boss. It just gets a certain HP number and that's it. Same goes for Queen Gibdo. Cuccos attack the boss, but will never actually die from their attacks. Link causes to be the one to deliver the final blow. On the other hand, the Hyrule Castle Phantom Ganons are a bit of a strange beast. Any particular one can be defeated by a Cuckoo, but the last one in the group can only be killed by Link. Which only leaves the Sea's Construct. This one is kind of interesting, since well, not only will they attack it, they'll even bring it down to 0 HP. Unfortunately, that doesn't kill the boss. It just sticks around at 0 health, right up until Link delivers the final blow. But those are just the main ones. How do mini bosses fare? Honestly, kinda poorly, since Cuccos won't get treated by Nobu's attacks at all. And well, there's a simple reason for that. The fight takes place in a cave and Cuccos can't summon back up inside a cave. So, there's nothing they can do to Yunobo here. Meanwhile, while Miraja can trigger a Cuckoo attack, that attack won't take place. The Cuckoo Swarm won't be summoned. Hence while Miraja can anger a Cuckoo, the latter can't fight back. Meanwhile, the Sludge-like can't even hit a Cuckoo. The Sludge attack goes through it and it doesn't eat them. As a result, all mini bosses are immune to Cuckoo attacks. Still, what about the overworld bosses? Do they fare any better? Well, it kinda depends what you mean by better. Cuccos can demolish a Frox, armor be damned. And the same goes for Flux Constructs too. The Cuckoo Revenge Squad tears them to pieces in seconds. Cuccos can also attack Gloomspawn just fine too. It's hard to set up, but their attempts to catch Link also hit a Cuckoo if timed just right. Same goes with Phantom Ganon that appears afterwards. Which Cuccos will even defeat. Yeah, it's a bit different from the Hyrule Castle one, that's for sure. On the other hand, there is one Phantom Ganon that works like the Hyrule Castle ones. That being, the one in the Great Deku Tree Chasm is only defeatable by Link. Which brings us to Gleeoks. How does a cuckoo fare against these guys? Well, they can defeat one. If a cuckoo gets hit by Flame Gleeok's attacks enough times, he'll definitely strike back, and if the Gleeok is on its last legs, he'll go down. Meanwhile, the Frost, Thunder and King Gleeoks can be hit by cuckoo attacks, so will be mostly valid targets. But there is a problem. In the final phase, while the Fireball attack activates the cuckoo and the Lightning Bolts do too, the Icicles do not hit cuckoos. So, while most Gleeoks go down easily enough, Frost Gleeoks are immune at the end of battle. Finally, that brings us to Master Kohga, and well, he's a really weird one here. On the one hand, his first form's attacks go straight through a cuckoo, and his plain shots will make the bird attack Link, since I assume any sort of zonal device damage is from Link himself. But the rare fight does work here if the cuckoo stands still long enough, and the angry cuckoo swarm will demolish his mech just fine. Yeah, so much for that ultimate weapon. Either way, that's all every new boss fares against cuckoos in Tears of Kingdom. If you found the video interesting, give it a like, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more, then leave your thoughts in the comments below or over on our Discord server today.